What is normal at 3 p.m. but terrifying at 3 a.m.? Breaking news. It wasn't 3 a.m. but still somewhat late, as both my dad and I were in bed when we got alerts for a special presidential address for when SEAL Team 6 killed Bin Laden. I remember knocking on his door and yelling, Dad, we need to go. Turn on the TV. It was just us living there. IDKY, I was yelling, lol. I was thinking that maybe someone was assassinated or we were about to be bombed. Expecting something terrible. Someone was assassinated. Lol, yay. True. Tornado siren test. Guaranteed it's not a test at 3 a.m. That's the same sound used in Silent Hill when the fog world transforms into the Otherworld. I actually never knew it was for tornadoes until long after I played the game, so honestly it would have frightened me at any time of day. I'm fortunate in the sense that I only have played the third game, which has no siren to make me myself. A kid's toy going off in a random room. My kids used to have a book that, when opened, played nursery rhymes. It turns out that when the battery is running low, the book does two things. 1. It plays the tune. Even while closed to it, plays the tune really slow and in a lower pitch. You can see where this is going right. Middle of the night, me and my husband are woken by twinkle style being croaked at us from under a toddler's bed. r/loba terror sounds. Thank you for this. Dog standing at the top of the stairs and barking at something on the main floor. My dog doesn't bark very often. We had her for 4 years before we heard her bark, so this would scare the s out of me 100%. This happened with my last dog. I was sleeping with the door open and she was sleeping at the end of the bed. I felt her move in the middle of the night and it woke me up, so I looked down to see her slowly standing up and looking out the bedroom door. She jumped off the bed and started going insane and barking. She was frantically stepping across the threshold of the room and then backing up into the room. It was like she was trying to get something/someone to back off, but it kept spooking her back into the room. I couldn't see out the door from my angle, so I had no idea what she was barking at. She didn't even acknowledge me as I was yelling at her to stop, which is weird because she was generally good at listening and also never barked. Then she all of a sudden stopped barking, jumped back up on the bed, and went to sleep. I have no idea what the hell she was barking at. We were the only two living things in the house and the cameras around the outside of the house didn't pick anything up the entire night. My dog used to do this. Turns out his thyroid wasn't working and it broke his brain. He's all good now that he's on meds. This being Reddit. I was reading all the comments waiting for whichever one said the barking meant the dog had hip dysplasia along with cancer and dog Ebola. The sound of a branch breaking when you're outside and then listening for steps. Does that sound like 2 legs or 4? My favorite is when you hear the steps but no one is around. Chances are it's probably a woods turtle. Edit. A woods turtle is a turtle that lives in the woods. The more you know. Please tell me what a woods turtle is. It's a turtle in the woods, snapping branches. A phone call from parents/relatives etc. My mom called me at 2:42 a.m. the other night. I woke up to her call and read it. The worst is I answered. She couldn't remember her password to get into her Facebook. Unless you need that password to prevent a nuclear apocalypse, you better just wait your until a time when I'm not gonna assume someone died. Someone knocking on the door. As kids we would play doorbell ditch sometimes during sleepovers and thought it was the best. It has happened to me a few times and it scared the s of me, lol. I have a plug-in doorbell which goes off when it's first powered up. That thing is great during brownouts. What is a brownout? It's basically when electricity briefly flows to your home at a lower than usual voltage. It's different than a blackout where you totally lose power. In a brownout you might see the lights flicker or electrical devices and appliances turn off and back on. I once saw a little kid's birthday party at a park super late at night, like almost midnight. I didn't understand WTF, and for some reason the nope level was really high. Like my brain said, this is some creepy s, they are gonna eat you for the birthday cake, so I just kept on moving. Seen it. Kid was an astronomy nut, so the parents scheduled it as a sort of a sleepover. Even got a special permit and paid for the city to switch off some lights. Dude, I have been wondering forever, and I'm totally going with this as the answer. There's also certain disabilities where people can't be out in the sun. If the kid had that, maybe it would make sense to have their party after dark so they could play on the playgrounds and other things they normally can't do during the day. Dude, imagine that parent/s and how much extra work that would take. If this is true, those people freaking rule. The sound of an ice cream van. No thank you. Children playing outside, especially flying a kite. Hello mother dear. So unwholesome. And this perpetual motion machine. What a joke. Having had to flee my home at 2 AM due to wildfires, I'd say heavy traffic. Edit due to confusion. It's the heavy traffic at 3 AM that's terrifying, not the wildfires, which are terrifying, no matter what time it is. Experience the terror of waking up at 2 AM with my neighborhood on fire. Myself. Was terrifying. Feeling like something jumped on the bed. At 3 PM my door is open, might be my cat. At 3 AM. Might be my sleep paralysis monster Terry. Terry is very off-putting. Scary Terry. Terry loves yogurt. This is taking too long. I'm gonna miss the farmer's market. Whispers. I'm coming for you. Is just a funny prank from your relatives at 3 PM. But 3 AM. The door opening. My girl works overnights, and last winter I wake up to my door unlocking. So I go and investigate. She wears a massive parka in the winter, so as a shadow, no lights on, I see someone walking into my home, shoulders about 4 feet wide. She got home 5 hours early. I was freaked out pretty good. My wife is a night shift nurse, and sometimes gets sent home early because they don't need her. True horror is waking up to the garage door opening at 3 AM lol. For me it's when my firefighter partner gets home at 4 AM instead of 7 AM, and what was a hairy dog next to me when I fell asleep is now a human skin. First few times I about jumped out to my skin. Those automatic air freshener sprays. Yes. I got the S scared out of me by ups from the pitch black living room in the middle of the night. It was trying to whisper to you that you smelled bad and was doing the house a solid by freshening the air. You should have thanked it. My high school had these automatic air fresheners that would detect the air quality and let out a little puff if it detected particulates or whatever. I also had a teacher that had a flatulence problem, like a medically significant flatulence problem. She had learned to let them out silently, but we always knew when she ripped one because the air freshener behind her desk would go off. Oh god. High school kids can be brutal. I hope her morale is intact. House sounds. During the day, if the house creaks or whatever, who cares? If it's night, holy F demon in the darkness. Also the ice machine. 3 PM it's just ice. 3 AM who the F is breaking in? Damn it, ice maker. Do you never sleep? Dog growling. I read growing, which to be fair would be terrifying at 3 PM too. If you live in a rural area. Gunshots. If I hear them at 3 PM, it's just someone practicing or hunting. 3 AM. What the hell are they shooting a gun for at 3 AM? If the rural we are talking about is farmland, I'm gonna assume my, next door neighbors are axing a particularly unlucky raccoon at 3 AM. Anything else? I refuse to think too deeply on it. With the slowly falling prices of decent infrared gun sights, the darkest night that used to give raccoons the advantage of stealth can now be their downfall. They'll never see it coming, though if you're hearing gunshots, it makes me wonder what caliber they are using. I doubt anyone would use more than a .22 to off a raccoon. The pile of clothes in my room. The day I finished my scuba certification, I got home absolutely exhausted and hung my wetsuit in the shower. Ordered some hot wings. Put on a scary movie. The Descent. You know. The one with the streamlined smooth humanoids that eat people in the dark. Crawl into bed and pass out. At like 3 AM I get up to take a pee. I don't bother turning on the light. Halfway through the process, I look over to see a smooth human silhouette looming over me. Great. Now there's pee on the ceiling. Gotta love the shower lurker scare. My brother used to have a giant cardboard Austin Powers cutout figure, complete with motion activated voice barks. Groovy. Baby. He put that in the shower with the curtain half drawn one night before bed. I woke up, had to go pee, and woke up everyone with my screams when it startled me. See, this is why I never close the shower curtain when it's not in use. It's always fully exposed. You're gonna have to jump out of the toilet to scare me. I close it after a shower so it doesn't hold water where it sticks together and molds. Next time I pee, shower curtains get opened and then stay that way till next shower. My Google Home on maximum volume saying microphone disconnected. Microphone connected. I live alone. Okay Google, exorcise my house. House starts jogging. Digging a hole. Look, if given the choice of digging a hole at 3 PM, when it's 90 degrees F outside and I'm going to get sunburned despite wearing a hat and 70 SPF, or digging a hole at 3 AM, I'll just go with creeping out the neighbors instead. Looking in your bathroom mirror. I've decided I either have to look right in the mirror or close my eyes when I pass it. No in between. If I just walk past the mirror but notice it in my peripheral, I'm convinced I'll see a shadowy figure move out of the corner of my eye and die of panic. I had turned my mind from my survival, just as a man suffering from a deadly sickness manages by 1,000 tricks never to look at death squarely, or rather, as a woman alone in a large house refrains from looking into mirrors, and instead busies herself with trivial errands, so that she may catch no glimpse of the thing whose feet she hears at times on the stairs. From one of Gene Wolfe's books. Neighbor using a chainsaw. I woke up in the middle of the night thinking someone was idling a chainsaw in our yard. Turned out that it was just noise from the main road being repaved. But I reassessed a lot in the 10 minutes I was not sure. Bedroom/bathroom doors and even plaster walls are useless against chainsaws, and I had not mapped out a strategy for dealing with a chainsaw wielding attacker at that place until that night. A text from your parents or partner that says, "Can you give me a call?" That's also terrifying at 3 PM. Yeah. To anyone who likes doing this mysterious visit, fucking preface it with, "Hey, everything's fine at the start," so people don't panic. Carpooling into your driveway. I always feel like that one creepy neighbor in a movie where I will peek out the blinds at different angles every time a light reflects off my house. Though usually it's just someone using my street, it still freaks me out because of how irrelevant our street is and no one uses it. Your dog barking like crazy, or a quiet growl while looking at the closet. A school bus going slowly down the street. Lol. At one point, when I was younger, my parents convinced me that there was a headless bus driver. He was always early, and you were always late. If you missed the bus, he would come back and take your head at the end of the school day. The last part was a joke. They had me flipped out for a bit there. I made sure that I never missed the bus in the morning ever again. Taking a walk in the woods alone. My teenage daughter and I were out camping in the woods when she shook me awake at about 2 to 3 AM. She said she heard something, and it kept freaking her out. I asked her what it sounded like, and she said, "It's a weird screeching sound, like an animal, but playing on a loop like a tape machine out in the forest." My blood immediately ran cold, and I said to her, "Do not tell me this right now." We went outside of the tent to see if we could hear it, and we did. It was pitch dark. The sound was faint, but sounded exactly how she described it. It was the same scratchy sound looping over and over again intermittently. We had just recently seen the movie Annihilation, and she thought that a cursed hybrid bear was going to come out of the woods and get us. Lol. We were so terrified. I grabbed a blanket and we slept inside my locked Jeep. We survived with no bear attacks. Lol. But the next day we were walking through the campgrounds and came across an RV with Halloween decorations. The source of the haunting noise coming from the woods was a Grim Reaper figure that would light up, howl, and shake. And it was set off by motion detector. It played the shrieking noise over and over again on a loop. We laughed, but wondered why they would leave the damn thing on all night. Seeing the sun in the sky. Alaska's got it real rough then. Someone saying your name. Destiny's Child at 3 PM vs 3 AM. Someone ringing your doorbell. The house creaking. Anything involving schools and students. Them being there or leaving there, whatever, brings me back to high school theater days. The week leading up to one of the major productions was called Tech Week. Officially, we called it Hell Week. Non-stop dress rehearsals. Not uncommon to be at the school, running the show, until 2 to 3 in the morning. The Navy SEALs stole your weak name /s. We didn't win the lawsuit, but we totally used it first /s. Motion detection on a home camera. So true. It always freaks me out when I see the notification in the morning from something in the middle of the night, and it's like a fatter June bug in the camera. But one time it was a dude banging at our door, so that was bad. Tornado warnings. Amber alerts and other emergency alert system alerts. Those east tones scare the absolute hell out of me. Those scare me at an equal amount, no matter what time it is. Especially when they just keep coming back, no matter how many times you acknowledge them. I still remember watching PBS Kids Awkwabo living in Tornado Alley, and that jump scaring me.